So if you've got your poem on paper ready to come up, I will call your name, and this will be up here. So first, starting us off today, very brave, Silas Odom.
Barking at everything, even the mail, snoozing for hours, wagging her tail, chasing some squirrels and hopping a fence, stalking a rabbit, she pulls her leash tense, watching a lizard, begging for treats, hiding from trucks under my sheets. She knew if I was sad, she checked on me in grief, she offered me comfort, offered relief. I cried till I couldn't, cradling her in my arm. Although it was hard, the world can no longer do her harm. Though she's not here, her memory lives on. I miss her so much now that she's gone.
All right, great start, Silas. All right. So our next presenter is Sophia Scamenti.
Be as you wish to be seen. Do as you wish to be done to you. Work as hard as you want to go. Do this, for the sooner you start, the easier your life will be in the years to come. Take the classes and make the A's because the grades are what they look at. It's your best bid. Do this because colleges look for the cleverest of kids. Take and tame an extracurricular for as long as you can because universities like consistency, and your best bet is efficiency. Play a sport, learn an instrument, get the operation, but don't stop participating, or the college recruiters may start straying. And when you're 17, the days get shorter, the work heavier, the birthday candle is nearing its end. Now it's up to you. It's your turn to make your next move. Mother said, do what you love. Father agreed. I'll go out on a limb and see where the wind takes me.
All right, good start we got going here. Now we're welcoming Aubrey Antzak.
The road. To write about beauty would be to write about a smile, about a flame burning bright, the sharp lines of the face, the twinkling eyes, the never-ending confidence, the heart of gold. It would be to write about love. To write about love would be to write about a heart, about cherished memories and a knowing glance, the excitement of another's presence, the hope of a future, the feeling of being. It would be to write about living. To write about living would be to write about life, about the feeling of joy and happiness, the smell of wildflowers in the spring, the beat of your heart, the music in your ears, the pitter-patter of raindrops, the sweat dripping down your face on a hot summer day, the tears sliding down your cheek. It would be to write about a road that never ends. But to write about life, you must write about death, about the darkness that consumes you, the waiting arms in the dark, the setting of the sun to welcome the moon, the tightness in your chest, the last goodbye, the knife buried deep, the screams that go unanswered, the bottomless sea beckoning. It is to write about the flame that has gone out.
Whew, we got some poetry today.
All good.
All right, our next presenter is Eli Smith.
Summer. 6:30 a.m., I wake up to cold. Shivers cling to me like old apples with mold. I'm in Florida. Where is the heat? Under 60 again? Cry my poor frozen feet. Bones chilled and freezing, I get on the bus. Squeezing into seats, I dream of us, of the sun and me, laying in the sand. A seashell speaks up, it's 8:30 a.m. I rush into class, almost frozen solid. I hear a faint cry, my name was just hollered. Looking behind me, the Gulf Coast is calling. I rush towards it, legs burning, only to realize I just ran to Turing. I miss the summer, the heat, the sun. 2 days of clouds, the darkness has won. I'm even missing mosquitoes and sunburn ache. Won't someone just give me a summer break?
All right, thank you, Eli. Our next presenter is Isaac Henderson.
Across the Bay by Donald Davy. A queer thing about those waters, there are no birds there, or hardly any. I do not miss them, I do not remember missing them, or thinking it uncanny. A beach so called was blinding splinter of limestone, a quarry outraged by holes. We took pleasure in that, the emptiness, the hardness of the light, the silence, the water stillness. But this was a setting for one of our murderous scenes. This hurt and goes on hurting. The venomous soft jelly, the undersides. We could stand the world if it were hard all over.
Thank you, Isaac. Next up is Veda DiPiero.
I find it hard to write about darkness without sounding like a fragile teenager. And a teenager, I'm told, is an awful thing to be. We tell ourselves stories of what lives in the dark, what watches while invisible to our human sight. Us children of light do not thrive in the unknown. Stars ramble through endless space, beings of guidance that hang like secrets within the distant sky. They see entire planets swallowed by the dark. It is something so infinite and inescapable and unforgiving, yet space is watching from my unlit hallway as I refuse to close my eyes. Darkness is the first and final constant that stretches beyond time and everlasting uneasy comfort. When I say that the caverns of my brain are dark, I mean, plainly, there is no light beneath skin, nor in quiet, nor in corners, nor caves. My bones, if given the chance to escape, would not recognize the light.
Thank you, Veda. Next up, KJ Ray.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I have 2 bricks, another 2 bricks, and another 2 bricks. I go and build a house by stacking those bricks, and now I feel as safe as the time I was a kid. I've always had friends around me and people that love me, but with all that still there, it's just so easy to feel so lonely. There's so many perceptions of how I act or who I am, and you won't know the real truth unless you ask me and be my friend.
All right, those guys were all our juniors for the year. Now we're going to move on to the senior class with Anton Varshavsky.
Hello, my poem is The Race. Beneath the dawn's first golden hue, the river waits, a mirror, true. Oars poised, the shell begins to glide, cutting through the morning tide. The burn ignites in legs and arms, yet in the pain, there's fleeting calm. For every pull, the goal draws near. The distant shore, the crowd's faint cheer, and when it's done, the oars at rest, each heart beats proud within its chest. For in the struggle, rowers find a single body, soul, and mind.
In case you didn't know, that's our rower right there, Anton. All right, next up, Christopher Ray.
Soil and stone. When fungus and flowers grow from the cracks between my rib cage, my soul will sink back into the soil and stone. When maggots and crows fill themselves with my eyes, I'll find other ways to see. I'll see the horizon through the visions of the birds above, graze the fields like the bison of the plains, and swim the streams like the trout of the west. When the birds lose their feathers, and the bison run out of grass, and all the trout are caught, I'll come back to my empty carcass and let them take a turn. And once they are satisfied and have seen the beauties and terrors of this world, they will join me and gather in our new home, the soil and stone.
These are poems they wrote. All right, Bobby Dodd.
Can't wait for a moment, can't start for a second. No time to stop, yet all the time to begin. Not quite now, not yet later. Ended the way I started, back to square one. Like nothing had changed since the time had gone. All that time feeling jaded, to my great chagrin, though I shouldn't be surprised. It all worked out in the end. Don't be sad that you waited. Don't fret that you worried. Relax, just as you did when you weren't in such a hurry. There's no time to wait, no hills to climb. Can't possibly wait for those bells to chime. The clock is still ticking, so don't be fraught. There's still time left, so don't use it up all at once. Can't imagine more time to spend, so I'll leave it at that. It felt like just a moment had passed. It's a shame it has to end. Don't worry, there's still time to waste. Plenty more to be found. Just don't go asking for seconds the third time around.
I heard that vocabulary word. Good job.
Yeah, you know.
Vicky Koskova.
Love for the game. The ball spins high, the crowd's alive, a thrilling dance where moments thrive. With every pass, with every play, a story told in shades of gray. The buzzer sounds, the tension peaks, the joy in watching, all it seeks. A dunk, a steal, a perfect shot, the joy is found in every plot. We rise, we cheer, we feel the beat, a shared connection, fast and sweet. In every game, a new delight, the love of hoops, pure and bright.
Okay, you have to guess Vicky's sport on your own. All right, Lily Bell.
I leave a mark on everything I touch. I have lifted teacups to my lips to sip, and when I've lowered them, my lipstick has stained the white rim a shade of muted red. I have forgotten many a times to place a coaster on the wood tables of houses I don't spend time in anymore. And while I am gone, the moist wood remains as a reminder that I was ever there to begin with. The people I have left think of me often and wonder why I walked away in the first place. They have changed the parts of themselves they thought repulsed me, when in reality, I adored them, but simply worried they couldn't stomach my words if I were to open my mouth and speak. Even as I walked out, part of me was aware that even when I was gone, my presence would linger, and my scent would refuse to fade. I'm not good at being forgotten, even as much as I would like to be.
All right, thank you, Lily. Elliot Odom.
Call this one Tangled Up in IB. Early one morning, my alarm went off. I was laying in my bed, wondering if things had changed at all, if those assignments were still pending. If we studied hard and did our work, our teachers, they said our IB stuff, we would make it through. But it sure did feel like it would be a bit tough. I never did feel like I had enough time, always turning things in the day before they're due. But it's not like I didn't try. I wish I had more sleep. Oh, woe is me. Tangled up in IB.
And the last of our seniors, Oliver Day.
This isn't my poem, I apologize. The Destruction of Sennacherib by Lord Byron. The Assyrian came down like the wolf on the fold, and his cohorts were gleaming in purple and gold. And the sheen of their spears was like stars on the sea, when the blue wave rolls nightly on deep Galilee. Like the leaves of the forest when summer is green, that host with their banners at sunset were seen. Like the leaves of the forest when autumn hath blown, that host on the morrow lay withered and strown. For the angel of death spread his wings on the blast, and breathed in the face of the foe as he passed. And the eyes of the sleepers waxed deadly and chill, and their hearts but once heaved, and forever grew still. And there lay the steed with his nostril all wide, but through it there rolled not the breath of his pride, and the foam of his gasping lay wide on the turf, and cold as the spray of the rock-beating surf. And there lay the rider, distorted and pale, with the dew on his brow and the rust on his mail. And the tents were all silent, the banners alone, the lances unlifted, the trumpet unblown. And the widows of Ashur are loud in their wail, and the idols are broke in the temple of Baal. And the mighty of the gentile, unsmote by the sword, hath melted like snow in the glance of the Lord.
All right, thank you, Cycle 3. We're going to head into the Cycle 2's work. Nathan Westover.
I'm gliding in the freshly fallen fluffy white snow. I won't fall because I believe in my skills. Looking downhill, I see a beautiful mountainside. My nose gets cold, but I feel exhilarated in my body. I'm going high speed down the slope. Seeing the moguls makes me anxious, but falling won't hurt me because it's soft powder. I make it to the bottom. I conquered the Black Diamond Peak.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Next up is Griffin Roberts.
The Heart of the Bard. The heart of the bard is a bullfrog, whose brain is wired with analog. So when he starts to slog along, he hums a terribly strong song. For the heart of the bard is a bullfrog, and bullfrogs hum songs of rum, with hits and burps and drums as he slogs through the heart of the bard. Even a blaring bullfrog cannot forever hog the bard. The last song he heard was Rum a Drum Drum before he went numb.
All right, you'll be seeing Griffin later in the Poetry Out Loud, too. Also, now up, Eli Sosa.
Okay, I am poetry. Playboy Cardi, a man who inspires many with his art. He broke Iggy Azalea's heart. He may lie a lot, but when he drops, it's hot. As he hits his girl, Cardi goes to court. Cardi used to play a sport where he ran up and down the court. He's rock star made. He gets his label paid. He takes his shirt off, and all the girls stop breathing. With Travis, he is always fiending. He's on that block in New York. He Millie Rock. The streets treat him like a god. He stays with the 5 and won't stop till he dies.
All right, we're missing a few Cycle 2 folks today. Next one up is Thomas Gallen.
Octopus, 8 tentacles, cleans, mops, he's a spectacle. Inches of slimy skin, gets put in a cage, transferred in. Trapped in an old aquarium cell, missing his family, he starts to dwell. Sisters, brothers, mom and dad, all his fellow school comrades. Fed crabs and old fish fats, still trapped behind this glass. 3 years go by, his body still as a dead fly. Stripped from his life, 3 years went by, this poor octopus starts to die. Slowly sinking down to the cold aquarium floor, never was able to explore.
All right, make sure you hold on to your poems, the copies. I want to get those copies when we're done here today. All right, next up is our newest student, Natalie Franz.
I pick up my pen, but nothing is there. Just empty thoughts and a vacant stare. The page stays blank, the lines won't start. No way to pour out what's in my heart. The harder I try, the less I find. A quiet storm within my mind. So I sit and wait, let the silence stay, hoping the words will come my way.
All right. Next up, Darshan Kolasar.
I walk outside to gaze upon the sky, knowing full well that the clouds obstruct my view. I look up, already disappointed, but I head home to see the stars anew. I think, and I open the front door, but I already don't know what to do anymore. I find that what's visible is always obscured. However, when I encounter a problem, rest assured, I try and I try until I can't any longer, until the sky's clear anyway and I'm just left to ponder. Was trying to gain what patience would have brought, worth rushing ahead, ignoring what I'd thought?
Great projection there. It was a great poem. All right, next up, Nico Moskalenko.
Penny pasta, shells, and cheese, sharing dinner as I please. It spins and dances on my plate. She's getting hungry, she can't wait. Mac and cheese, yellow and bright. She's begging for a cheesy bite. Forks and spoons, swoop it up, sharing my food with my little pup.
Okay, next up, we have some very brave middle schoolers going to join us up here. They did not have to at all. Miss Talia Campbell.
Lilac-breasted rollers. These beautiful birds, like watercolor splashed on a page, painted with pastels, acrobats in the air, looping, twisting, performing shows, in the day, perching on a small branch, protective, territorial, by night, curling up in a nook of a tree, these beautiful birds, a symbol of peace.
And also Owen O'Reilly.
Do dogs dream of skies so wide or wonder why we walk beside? Do they find joy in simple things like chasing birds with open wings? Are they aware of how they shine, their floppy ears and wagging tail, with puppy eyes so dear divine, a cuteness that will never fail? Do they sense the pain we hide or share their love without a guide? Do they ask or simply know the peace in letting life just flow? In their silence, pure and true, they teach us all we need to do. Now we must listen, for that is all we need to shimmer and glisten. With hearts so pure and love so true, they're always there through all we do. In every step, in glee or strain, they're by our side through joy and pain. Man's best friend through thick and thin, a devoted heart where love begins.
Okay, I hope you'll forgive me. I did promise a couple of the students that I would get up here and do one too. So, a little backstory. Those of you that know me know that I went to Oxford in England in 1990 as part of my college program, and it really changed my life. And one night I was laying in bed, couldn't sleep, and started walking down the street in Oxford, and it was like almost midnight. And I started reading these words off a page that was in a notebook back in my house in Georgia on the other side of the world. And I was reading them off the page, and I was like, wow, that's weird. And then I was reading the next line that I'd never written before. And I was like, I better get back to my room and start writing down. I wrote this down as quick as I could. And sometimes that's just how poetry goes. And so, I mean, you got to be ready. You got to have that pen ready, have your phone ready, get a line or two written down so that you can build on it later and always build on it. I've changed this poem 100 times since 1990, but this is where it stands right now. It's called On the Mount. A little man walked up to me and told me he was God. He said, "Follow me, my son." And I thought that sounded kind of odd, but I felt compelled to follow him. In fact, I couldn't stop. So we walked for 40 days and nights till we reached the mountaintop. We sat down in the grass and he made sure we were alone, and he set a bush on fire and it warmed me to the bone. We talked of how some people had his name dragged through the mud, and we talked of good and evil and of crosses stained with blood. As we talked into the evening and beneath a scarlet moon, he looked deep into my soul and said, "The end is coming soon. But there'll be no fire brimstone to be raining from the air. I'm simply going to leave because I simply just don't care. I gave you words to live by, and you've turned them all around, just to suit your petty purposes and to keep each other bound. So I must take my leave of you. My heart can stand no more. For you creatures that I once so loved now crawl when you should soar." He told me I could come with him and leave this world behind, and the offer burned into my soul, not my petty human mind. You're asking me to turn my back on friends and fellow man so that I'll be happy always, but I just don't think I can. 'Cause I am in this with them, if they want me here or not. And if I cherish not that brotherhood, well, what then have I got? If you choose now to move along, then I say fare thee well. If I cannot help my fellow man, then I'd rather be in hell. And when I finished speaking, I saw God behind his smile. And as a tear rolled down his cheek, he said, thank you, my child. It once again is clear to me that y'all might be okay. So I'll wait a little longer to have this judgment day. And he leaned back in the grass and he made sure we were alone. And he looked into the burning bush and turned it into stone. When somewhere in the distance came a shout across the land. And as I went to answer, a dove flew from my hands.